Well, just after 6 a.m. here on this Tuesday morning. Thanks so much for joining us on Up with KREM. I'm Channing Curtis.
And I'm Tim Pham. It's good to see you. Meteorologist Thomas Patrick in the Weather Center tracking a little bit of a busy Tuesday. Thomas, it's going to be nice, but also a little breezy.
Yeah, and those winds are going to pick up in a big way for this afternoon. So while it's calm this morning, just make sure to bring any loose objects indoors before they might have that chance to blow away this afternoon. Wind advisories are in effect from 2 to 8 o'clock during the afternoon and evening hours. Wind gusts up to 45 miles per hour are pretty strong overall. So that's what we're anticipating. Do notice how calm it is though right now. Old Glory there at Coeur d'Alene just laying still, so the conditions are quite calm at the moment, but will pick up in a big way at around that 2 o'clock hour later on. So we'll go from almost 60 degrees right now to still 83 this afternoon with those winds.
Well, construction season continues today throughout the inland Northwest, and drivers today should prepare for road closures on the Cheney-Spokane Road.
KREM 2's Brandon T. Jones live near that road work right now. And Brandon, this has been an ongoing project for that area. Yokes and Chaps and so many other businesses affected by this. What did you hear from people you spoke to?
Yeah, Tim, I mean, you can just see the construction right here behind me and some of the detours that they have in place. All of those road closures and those detours are evident right here. As you can see, the sheriff right behind me go on top of the dirt road that they have in place as kind of a temporary road because of the construction. But today a new chapter of that construction officially begins with road closures just south of the retail area up until Cedar Road. So people who are coming in from Cheney, they'll have to go ahead and plan to get around some of that. The neighborhoods impacted like Eagle Ridge and the Qualchin area, those will be impacted. But as a reminder, the current project is focusing on supporting water capacity improvements in the area. I did get a chance to come down here yesterday and speak with some of the neighbors who shop here at the Yokes. Some told me it has certainly been an inconvenience. They've been patiently waiting, and now they're just kind of trying to figure out when all of this will be done. And the others described to me what it's been like driving in the area over the last few weeks.
Well, it slows you down. It's, dusty and dirty, and sometimes you have to take a detour to get home a different way.
Yeah.
But, we live with it. It's not a big deal.
All right, so let's go ahead and talk about some of the alternative routes. One option you have is West Qualchin Drive to South Meadow Lane Road. That's going to take you about 3.5 miles and take 12 minutes to drive in terms of that detour. Your other option is Eagle Ridge to I-90. That one is going to be much longer at 14.5 miles and approximately 25 minutes. So signs will be in place. You'll see crews out here as well directing you into those alternative routes. But just as a reminder, go ahead and get out of the house a bit early, especially if you have to be somewhere at a specific time, because it will take a bit longer due to these detours. But for now, reporting live here at the Cheney-Spokane Road, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
This morning, investigators are continuing to look for answers in a shooting in downtown Spokane on Friday that was live streamed online.
Hoyt Webb made his first appearance in court yesterday. He's now facing first-degree assault charges. So according to newly filed court documents, Webb claims that he was in downtown live streaming homeless people for his YouTube channel. Police say that an argument then broke out between the victim and Webb is seen walking to his car and grabbing a gun. The court records then show that the victim was running at Webb, and then you can hear gunshots. The victim was taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Right now, we don't have an update on their condition, but we do know that Webb's bond has been set at $75,000.
Right now, 5 teenagers are facing serious charges for allegedly getting into an altercation with security guards near North River Drive. Spokane police say the teenagers destroyed property at a nearby business when 2 security guards confronted them. They say one of the teens pulled out a gun and threatened them. When the security guards got back in their truck, police say the teens surrounded them and started yelling and hitting the side of the truck. The guards managed to get away, and police arrested the group not far from where it happened. This morning, they are charged with several crimes, including criminal mischief and riot.
It is just about 6:06. Let's take a look at your morning rush. More news in less time. This morning, Washington Governor Jay Inslee is set to announce a directive affirming patients' rights to emergency abortion care at hospitals throughout the state. The governor is now directing the Department of Health to clarify that Washington state hospitals must provide abortion services. The move comes as the U.S. Supreme Court is poised to rule on another case that requires hospitals to treat patients who may need medically necessary abortions as a complication of pregnancy or labor. Yesterday, the Spokane City Council approved $5 million in ARPA funding to support childcare, housing, and public safety initiatives. The largest portion of that funding will now also go towards reducing homelessness in downtown Spokane. Well, starting at noon today, you might see musicians lining the streets for the second day of Street Music Week. So musicians will take up spots in downtown Coeur d'Alene, downtown Spokane, and the Garland District. The performers will even have donation buckets available, and that money will then go towards Second Harvest Food Bank. Street Music Week runs through Friday, and that's a look at your morning rush.
Right now, some office workers are avoiding phone calls, causing a new industry to emerge.
So this morning, our station in Houston explains why.
Why are more and more workers having a tough time with what used to be a basic office task? In recent years, technology has made it easier for coworkers to stay in touch. Zoom, Slack, Teams, and texting are now the preferred ways of communication for a lot of us. But there is one basic way of communication that can send even skilled workers down a rabbit hole of fear and anxiety: the phone call. The apprehension over phone calls among people 40 and under is pretty well documented. Gen Z and even millennials have loudly voiced their disdain for this basic form of communication. According to the Wall Street Journal, between 2012 and 2022, voice call minutes on mobile devices grew just 8.7%. Over the same time period, landline usage plummeted, meaning overall there were a lot less phone calls being made. Call avoiders complain it is hard to read social cues over the phone. A text message allows you to spend some time working on a response and even edit what you're saying. While this may be more comforting for many people, it's causing problems for businesses who need workers willing to pick up the phone. And all of this has spawned a new industry: phone call consultants. One consultant told the Wall Street Journal she charges $3,000 for half-day trainings. One surprising question she hears: how do I end a phone call?
So another check of our weather forecast at 6:08. The sun is out, just hiding behind the corner of our building, just off to my right here. Skies are clearing and the winds are still calm at the moment, but we know that that's going to pick up in a big way later on. But it is already pretty warm for 6 o'clock in the morning. We got 62 in Moscow and even 60 degrees already in Grand Coulee, and just a degree shy of that mark right here in Spokane. So a warm start to the day and still a warm afternoon with temperatures in the 80s, but it's these winds that are going to start to rush in off of the Pacific Ocean. There's our cold front. It's actually just arriving right along the coastline right now. That will be the focal point that picks up the winds later on for this afternoon, mainly starting at about 2 o'clock or so. No rain chances for today nor this week, but tracking a couple windy days, not just today, but again for this Friday.